So, I'm a cuber, and I have been for the past 3 years. I first discovered cubing when I saw a classmate of mine just solving the Rubik's Cube in school, and immediately I started getting interested. So, like any person would do, I went to a shop, I bought a crappy cube, and I searched up YouTube tutorials. It took me maybe about half a day to use a tutorial and learn how to solve the Rubik's Cube. And after that day, I got hooked. Full on addiction. Honestly, all I would do is just solve the Rubik's Cube. Day, night, anytime. I'd just be solving over and over and over. It's just the clacking of the cube. All you hear me do is that. It got really bad to the point where my teachers, even my parents were mad. Like in dinner, my parents would just say like, "Put the cube down." It's such an addiction. So at first, the Rubik's Cube was just a silly little hobby. It was a cool trick I could show my friends. Just a silly little hobby. But soon enough, cubing started to become a part of my daily routine. The colors, the clacking of the cube, everything. It became such a normal thing to do that whenever I feel bored or stressed out, the cube would be sort of my release. It felt therapeutic. Soon, I started timing myself, learning new methods, just practicing over and over just to get faster. Even improvement by just a second felt like such a big achievement. This thing taught me a lot of things. One of them were patience, focus, dedication. Because no matter how much I fail, no matter what I do with this cube, I always come back to it. Whenever I get a bad time, or I stop the timer with it not being finished, it's failure, obviously. But every single time I get a failure, I just come back to it. I pick it up, I solve it again, I scramble it again, I solve it again, over and over and over. And at one point, I really got into it. So I decided I'd like to go to a competition. And the first competition that I went to is a solo lure, which is a competition solo. Pretty obvious by the name. But yeah, in this competition, I met a group of friends who, even until now, I'm still friends with, and whenever I go to competitions, I still meet with them. This was a very memorable experience. It was my first competition, and it's an amazing experience. And for any cuber who, probably not watching this, but like any cuber, I really recommend going to a competition. It doesn't matter how fast or how slow you are, just go to one. It's just a hangout, bro. It's nice. So, this is a picture from the competition. That is me standing, judging a competitor. So this competition actually had one foreigner. I think he was from America or Sweden. I don't remember. But yeah, so that's me judging the competitor, and then the guy besides the guy who I was judging is actually the classmate who got me into cubing. Just cool. So the next competition is Jawa Timur Open, which is a yearly competition hosted in any city in Jawa Timur, but this one was in Malang. Now, this is a picture that I got of me in the competition, and that's actually my usual profile picture in WhatsApp or just anywhere in general. That's usually my profile picture. So this competition was another dear one to me. Why? Because this was actually the first time I fell in love with this cube. This cube. So this is called the Pyraminx. It is a triangle. Yeah. So So Timor Open was actually one of the only competitions that, for me personally, it's the only competition that I've went to which had a pyramid second round, and it's actually the only second round that I've ever had, ever. I think so. I finished for the first round. I finished, I think, seventh, and for the second round, I finished sixth. But this competition, I got I think 4.05 single, which at the time was top 100 in Indonesia. So I felt really excited to go into my second ever competition and get a solve which was top 100 in Indonesia. I was so excited to the point I decided then that I would make pyramids my main event. And I fell in love with it. Even now, it is still my main event, one of at least. So my third ever competition is called Surabaya Showdown, which is the first competition that I joined, which was in my hometown, Surabaya. And this competition was another dear one to me because this is also where I started specializing in another event for me, which was the Rubik's Clock. Yes. So that's the first ever competition which I participated in, the Rubik's Clock. And actually, for my first ever time participating in the Rubik's Clock event, I got a 12-second average, which straight away puts me in the top 100 of Indonesia again. So same thing with the previous one. I got really excited and practiced this a lot, and it's also one of my main events. And now, actually, I average less than 10 seconds, so single digits, which I'm very happy about. I'm very proud of. Yeah. For some people, the Rubik's Cube may just be a silly little toy, but not for me. For me, it's something that connects me to a bigger community of people who share the same passion as me. Being a cuber isn't just about solving puzzles. It's about the feeling of progress, the rhythm of turns, and the satisfaction of mastering something through pure practice and dedication. But most importantly, it's not only just a cube, but the community. Being a cuber isn't about solving the Rubik's Cube. It's about having a community of people who share the same hobby, who share the same interests. And that's the most beautiful thing of being a cuber.